Recording. All right, so welcome everyone. Thanks for being here on Blab with me and my guest, Alina Vincent. My name is Jessica Riverson. If you haven't met me before, please do follow Alina Vincent and myself and the other people that are on this Blab with you today so you guys can get to know each other. And if you would take a moment to click the tweet button, this will share today's show with everyone, with all your friends, and this is going to be really, really good information. So our topic is 3 secrets to my Facebook success and what I hope will be your success on Facebook as well. And I'm wanting to introduce you to Alina Vincent, who is my Facebook coach and mentor. I started learning how to use Facebook to attract clients from her about a year ago. And I'm trying to think if I ever had attracted, I know I had attracted clients online before, but I don't think I had, if I had attracted anyone from Facebook over a year and a half ago or so, it was probably just a few people. So I really didn't have a strategy. I didn't know how to do a lot of the technical things, the cool things that I saw people doing. I really hadn't taken many selfies unless it was like with a friend who was like, let's take a selfie. I didn't really take pictures of myself a lot and post them. So I've really learned so much from her. And so I'm excited to share with you guys what I've learned, what works, what doesn't work. And what I was thinking, Alina, is that I'll share my 3 top tips and secrets, and then you can like fill everyone in about the strategy behind each of those things. Does that sound good?
Interesting. So you're just gonna share your success and I have to explain why?
No, I will give as much information, but I want you to come in and give us like the background information. And
yes, I would love to.
Okay, and then we have some cool goodies to share as we go along as well. So let's get started. I just want to make sure I have my notes in front of me too. So the first key that I've really followed is, hold on, I want to make sure I have my notes in front of me. Okay, so the first one is really my favorite thing, and I would say it's how do I call it? It's like my ultimate super strategy, which is to share success stories. So when I took Alina's course, Facebook Traffic Explosion, and I got into the content and started learning everything that she has to offer there, when you take a course, a lot of times, especially if it's Alina Vincent, there's like rich content there, right? So you don't maybe absorb everything the first time, but you grab onto something, right? You grab onto something and you start doing it. So one of the things that I grabbed onto was this idea of sharing success stories on Facebook. So if you guys follow me on Facebook, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you have seen my business page, or you're in my Facebook group, you probably have seen me share some success stories. So I just realized I should grab a link to my Facebook group really quick because...
Actually, you keep talking, I'll grab it.
Oh, okay, cool, thanks. Okay, So if you are a female entrepreneur, I would love to invite you to the Facebook group. And I always just say that, sorry guys, I took a vote and everyone was like, no, we want to keep it women. So I'm not meaning to exclude people, but it is a women entrepreneur Facebook group. So if you fit that category, you can ask to join the group. And you will see in that group, I share a lot of success stories. So I'll give you some examples of things that I do to share success stories. First of all, I will, if a client of mine has had a great success, if they've accomplished the result they came to me for, which is to grow their coaching business, I will often share a picture. I'll create like a meme, a picture of that person, and it might say, I just sold my first $3,000 coaching program. And that's the result that they wanted to get, and they got the result. So I share that as a meme. And then usually I'll tell a little bit of a story or a background. And I do ask my clients first if I can post that. So definitely ask your clients if they're okay with you posting what you would like to share. Hi, Dr. Dana. Nice to see you here. Speaking of clients, yay. Who else do we have that's on here? Okay. I'm trying to see everyone we have. So if you guys are just joining, we're talking about 3 secrets to success on Facebook. And right now I'm talking about success stories. So you'll often see that I post pictures of my clients and a one-liner of something that they said. And it needs to be very results oriented. So if you have testimonials coming in from clients that say, Jessica, it's awesome, or, insert your name, right? You're awesome. That's nice, but it's not going to be the most effective. So when you are talking to your clients, really ask them to provide you tangible, results-oriented testimonials. And then those are the kind that you want to share on Facebook. And I have a funny story. Recently, I had someone who really wanted to work with me, but for her own reasons was like, no, I can't, blah, 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 And then about 24 hours or so later, after I had been, it was a big day of success stories, and I was sharing several success stories that day. It was December 31st. So I had a client who messaged me and said, I just got to 100K. And then another one's like, I just got to 200K. So I actually bought them each flowers, posted it. So I posted about them, celebrating them and making it all about them and how awesome they are to accomplish that. And other people were seeing that, and that was building desire and interest and credibility for them to want to work with me. And so it does help if someone is following you and they're interested in you and they feel like, gosh, I think this person could help me, but they're not, they still have some doubts in their own mind. And so when you share success stories, it helps them overcome the doubts, because what happens is they see the success stories and they go, wow, if she can do it or he can do it, maybe I can do it. And so that's why sharing those stories is powerful. And I also share my own success stories too. I try to share more of my clients' success stories. So it's not all about like, oh, I am great and I, made X amount of money, but I do share that sometimes, but it's like the 80-20 rule. Like 80% is sharing client success stories and 20% is maybe some of my own success stories. So do you want to add anything about that, Alina?
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't think I've heard you say how well it's working for you. So okay. I'll add my own stuff, but I also wanted you to share that you're not just sharing those stories because you have nothing else to post. You're actually sharing it very strategically because it's helping you grow your business and get clients.
Yes.
And you said now you're getting 60% or more of your clients coming from Facebook. Would you like to share some of your other numbers as well? Because you're my success story. Yes, I want to see quantifiable stuff.
Yeah, I should have started this whole blab with sharing some of my stats. So let me share my stats with you guys, and then we'll get back into the 3 secrets. So a few really awesome stats. So yes, over 60% of my clients are coming from Facebook, and that doesn't include paid Facebook ads, because I do have some ad campaigns going. I'm going to be redoing my stats pretty soon because I want to see where we're at now. But that is after I'd been working in your course for just a few months, I totally turned around my online marketing because, like I said, I wasn't getting clients from Facebook. So we're talking about maybe 0 to 10 or 5% clients coming from Facebook, and now over 60% coming from Facebook. So Facebook's very important for my business. I also have created a Facebook group for women entrepreneurs. We have almost 700 people. That group did not exist before I met you. I knew about Facebook groups. I had someone told me to do it, and I finally did it. I heard about it, but you helped me understand how to do it, how to run a good Facebook group. And if you guys are not in Alina's Facebook group, she has a really great Facebook group, and I definitely model and take lessons from how you structure and how you are a leader in your Facebook group. So that's something, if you guys have started a Facebook group or you've thought about it, someone's asking MLM. My business is a coaching business, if you're asking that, if that's what you're asking. Hey, Tressa. Good to see you here. So I started the Facebook group, and what I hear a lot of people say is, oh, I started a group and no one's interacting and nothing's happening. Well, that happened to me at first too. And it took a couple months, and now people from my Facebook group have become clients. Business coaching, Captain Jack. So yes, it does take some time because you're building relationships, but eventually if you create a group of people that is your ideal client, full of your ideal clients, eventually they will want to work with you or purchase your products or programs. I've also attracted clients who have enrolled in programs that were investment of at least $10,000, and I met them through Facebook. So to me, that's a big deal. Like the first time that happened, I'm like, oh my gosh, that you actually can attract clients from Facebook. On a regular basis now, I have people that will message me and say, like, I've been following you and I would like to work with you. And to me, that was the first really funny feeling, because I was like, you're following me? Like you think that you're on Facebook and people aren't watching, and really they are watching you. So you want to learn from someone like Alina who can teach you how to be strategic. And thank you for saying that me posting success stories is strategic, Alina, because I didn't say that, but I definitely am purposeful and mindful when I post success stories. There's a reason why I'm doing that. Number one is I want to inspire people. And I want to show them what's possible. So when I show success stories of other coaches who are doing well, it helps people see that it's possible. And then of course it's relating back to the work they did with me. Another stat I wanted to share was that I have actually gotten asked to be on a lot more telesummits, podcasts, and radio shows than previously. So I've always done things like that, but now those opportunities come in more often. Also, I use Facebook to find those opportunities for myself and my clients. Just last week, I saw someone talking about a telesummit. I messaged her. I said, I would love to be on your telesummit if you're still looking for guests. And she said, I am. Yeah, I would love to have you. And now I'm in a telesummit. So I also use Facebook to look for opportunities, and I find them in Facebook groups, and I just reach out and I message people. Another really cool thing that happened in 2015 is I led a money breakthrough workshop for coaches in Paris. And I actually reached out to people through Facebook, and some of the people that came because I met them through Facebook. And one of those people is an awesome woman who, she couldn't attend the workshop, but she showed up after the workshop to have lunch with all of us. And then later down the road, she ended up purchasing one of my programs. And so I created a relationship with her on Facebook, met her in Paris. Later, she became a student of one of my courses. And then the last stat that I'll share is recently, just a few days ago, I launched a very low price point product. And on Saturday, I was messaging with someone who I've already built a relationship with. And I said, hey, check this out. She went to my sales page. She's like, oh my God, I need this. She bought it. I posted it on Facebook on Sunday. Somebody else bought it. So I haven't even done my whole launch, but I just kind of put it out there on my personal page. And I made a sale on Saturday, a sale on Sunday. I've also filled earlier last year, I did a 6-week mastermind, and I filled at least half of it through people on Facebook who I didn't even know, but they were really interested in the course that I was offering. So I see Danielle said, okay, I guess people are having conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, side conversations.
Yeah. Right. So to follow up on your first secret. So yes. For people who joined us later, the first secret was their success stories. And what you just shared is actually a perfect example of why it works. Mm-hmm. Because I can be sitting here saying, I have the best strategies, my program works, my methods work, I have the best stuff. And people will be like, yeah. But having somebody else share their experience and say it really does work makes a completely it comes off non-salesy. It comes off as sharing. It comes off as if she can do it, we can do it. It comes off as if it's working for you, obviously it can work for other people. So it's like a perfect example of what you just did, of why it works on Facebook so well. And the one thing I want to point out is make sure you always get permission from people, but it doesn't even have to be a written testimonial on Facebook to share. I do screenshots of my emails. I do screenshots of private messages. If people leave me a voicemail, I'll transcribe it and say, hey, is that okay to use it as a testimonial? So there's so many different ways to share those success stories and to get the testimonials, and then just share them on Facebook as a proof that what you do actually works.
Right. And I've actually, if I didn't have permission from that person yet, like I haven't had a chance to connect with them, sometimes I'll post something like, I get it, this great email comes in, and I'll just post, oh my gosh, one of my clients just did this. And it's very genuine, because in that moment, I'm very excited about this message that I just got. And later on, I'll follow up with them and get the whole story and get permission. But sometimes it's just a spur of the moment, something exciting happened, and you can share it in a way where you're not giving away who the person is or telling anything.
Yeah, you can just say, I just got this message that made my day, and here it is without the names.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Or like, it could be even something like, if, for example, for me, if one of my clients, sells, they double their prices and go and sell their coaching program, I would say, oh my gosh, I just got word in from a new client who doubled her prices and sold her program. And that's like exciting, right? So it doesn't always have to be, obviously it's more effective when you have the name and everything, but even in the moment you can share those stories. All right. Should we go on to number 2?
Sure.
All right. So, let's see here. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Okay. So the second one is, this one might seem pretty obvious, but there's things that I learned from Alina that make it possible for me to do this. So the second one is to share valuable content. Something that we hear a lot, share more value. And the thing is, I saw people on Facebook, they would make memes, they would show selfies, pictures, they would do things, show behind the scenes. And I didn't really know the technical side of sharing valuable content. I mean, I kind of understood the concept, but how do you do it? How do you do it in a way that actually gets people to stop and look at your post instead of just keep scrolling through? So sharing valuable content for me could be, it could be sharing a blog post, but most often it's going to be sharing a story. And so it might not be the same thing as a success story, but some kind of lesson or insight that I've learned that is going to be valuable to my ideal client. And so one of the things that I've learned from you is sharing screenshots. So you can share a valuable content and also share a visual representation of what it is that you're talking about. So I learned from Alina how to do something as simple as I do a screenshot, but I didn't know how to do a screenshot before. I really didn't. I felt that I wasn't techie and I couldn't do the things that other people were doing that looked so cool. And so I didn't really, my posts were kind of generic and just copying what I saw other people doing and trying to do what they were doing, but I didn't understand how they did it or what their strategy was behind it. Mm-hmm. So now I can share tips, stories, ways that I navigated a certain situation that might help my ideal client. And when they read it, they go, oh, she totally gets me and she understands what I'm going through. And wow, she just provided me a really valuable tip that can help me. So do you want to share maybe different ways to share valuable content? For me, I try to focus on stories and always using a picture.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And actually, I'll give one of your examples too, because I saw you do it recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago. Oh, and by the way, Jessica also has a link to my book that has more ideas too, but I'll share the example that Jessica did recently. She posted a little video on how she sets up her goals for the week. Yeah. So she actually had a board. She videotaped it on her cell phone. So it was like, here's what I put in the first column, here's what I put in the next column, here's what I do at the beginning of the week, here's what I do at the end of the week. And that was it. It was not a sales pitch. She wasn't actually selling anything. She just gave people an idea of how she structures her week. And that was incredibly beneficial, incredibly valuable. So your story could be part of showing how you attack a certain problem, how you plan to do something, or it could be story written in words. So that's a great example I saw you do not that long ago. But basically it could be basically it can be a tip, a strategy, an article, a podcast, a video, anything that gives people something actionable, practical they can take away today and start using today. Because on Facebook, everybody's attention span is like minimal. Mm-hmm. So if I can, sometimes stories work if you have already a group that's engaged with you and really, 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 really wants to know everything you think, you can write long posts. If it's just in the news feed, the smaller, the shorter, the more concise, the better. So for example, I can just go, like a tip I posted last Monday was, hey, you should do videos on Facebook because videos are hot. Facebook promotes videos. So if you post normal posts versus posting a video will get more views. That's it. So that was a teeny little video that I posted, got tons of views, and I got tons of feedback saying, oh, this is so great. People asking me follow-up questions like, do I upload directly to Facebook or do I upload to YouTube? So I get to showcase my expertise. I get to interact with people. And obviously, those are the people interested in what I have to offer. So in just one little tip, you can accomplish everything. You can get a new client. You can help people. People can start seeing you as an expert in your field. So anytime you share content, it's just incredible way of positioning yourself on Facebook.
Yeah, I agree. You know, the book that I just posted, I'll post it again. Alina has a free guide. And what I love about the guide is you share a strategy that people can follow for 2 to 3 weeks, which involves sharing valuable content. And by the end of those 2 to 3 weeks, you will see people messaging you, commenting, reaching out and saying, I'd like to work with you, or I'd like to learn more about your services. And it's so true, because if you do share valuable content on a regular basis in your own group, in other groups, and you build that relationship, then it does work. Uh-oh, we lost the visual. Can you still talk to us, Alina? Okay, she'll be back in a minute.
I can see you.
Oh, okay. We can't see you, but we can still hear you.
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, it just says poor internet signal. So I'm sure we'll see you in a moment. So Mimica is saying, yes, video is awesome. I know because I'm biased. Yeah. Mimica is also a video pro, so you guys definitely want to follow her. Social Biz King said, yeah, my ad campaigns are 100% videos and the results have been almost triple the conversions for half the cost. That's a great tip. That's a great tip too. So we're talking about sharing valuable content, doing that through video. You can have the long posts, but as Lena said, you need to have established some relationships with people before they're going to read their long posts. Yeah, we can't see you now, Lena, so I think you may need to come back in. So some of the things I learned from Alina as far as how to share valuable content is how to share, or how to create the post. Like, what is the anatomy of a good post? And so I didn't even know how to do a screenshot. I didn't know how to share behind the scenes photos. And now if you guys follow me at all, you'll see that there's a storyline going behind what I'm doing. So I'm sharing, like when I do intensives with clients, I share pictures, I talk about it, I share videos. When I'm doing anything that I'm doing in my business, I try to capture it with a photo, a screenshot, something like that. So people, by the time they talk to me, they say, oh, I feel like I already know you. I understand what it is that you do. And that's why sharing thank you, Dr. Dana. That's why sharing valuable content and knowing how to share that content is very, very important. So I encourage you to get the guide that she has prepared, because that will give you step-by-step what to do. And I think it's really, really useful. So we're waiting for Alina to pop back in here. And I'm going to go over the third secret. So she says she's here. Let's see. What do I need to do? I think I need to open the seat. All right. She's coming back.
That is so weird.
Okay, sorry, I had to open the seat for you. Thank you. Thanks for that tip, you guys.
I'm not on the Wi-Fi. I'm just on the regular, normal internet. Weird.
What can you do? What can you do? The pros and cons of the internet, right?
Yes.
So let's move on to the third key, and then we can let people ask questions.
Sure, that sounds wonderful.
Okay, so the third key is connecting with people daily. And the way that I do that is, number one, through my own personal profile, through my own group that I've created, but also through other groups. So before I started my own Facebook group, I was just focusing on other people's groups. And that has been very effective for me because once you establish yourself in a group, just like if you were in a local networking group that you had to go to every single week, I used to be in BNI, it's Business Network International. So every week I had to go to this meeting and give my commercial and introduce myself and talk to people, set up. We were required to meet with 2 people every week. So when you're in a Facebook group, you want to introduce yourself, comment on other people's posts, get to know them, and even private message people and say like, oh, looks like we have something in common. Let's get to know each other, or, create a relationship, strike up conversation. So I do private message new people that I don't know pretty much every day. I tend to meet like at least two people new every single day on Facebook, private message them. I usually invite them into my group if it seems like a fit, or find out what's going on in their business and how I could help, or how there might be a connection. So that's something that I think is really important, because nothing tops having a one-on-one conversation with someone. So I think you can do all this stuff on Facebook, but if you don't move it to a private message, or you don't move it into a way where they can actually interact with you, like a Blab, or maybe it's a webinar, but even better, a private conversation, because most of you probably make your sales, at least for your one-on-one work, through a private conversation. Okay, so if you do any kind of coaching, consulting, or something like that, then you need to get on the phone with people, or you need to have a private conversation with people to actually enroll them. If it's online sales, like online programs that you're selling, that's a little bit different. But for me, the bulk of my business is based on private clients. So I very much want to move people into having a conversation with me. So that's very important, is to make new friends every day, create a relationship. They're not just random people online. They're real. Well, make sure they're real people. Some of them are fake people, but try to create relationships with real people. And I think Facebook groups are a great way to get known for what it is that you do, because if you post consistently in other groups and create a relationship with the other members, they're going to start to know you as, oh, that's Alina Vincent. She created Facebook Traffic Explosion. So any questions that come up, people are going to reference Alina. Oh, Alina might know the answer to this. Or I know sometimes if it's something about charging your worth or pricing or something, or even sometimes about sales, people will say, oh, Jessica might know about this. So you get known for what it is that you do. Mimica's saying, amen, sister, pick up the phone and talk to people. The best coffee meetups happen offline. Yeah, so maybe you can speak to that a little bit, Alina, and then I have another little tip too.
Sure. Well, I've had some people in my programs set a challenge for themselves. For example, every day they reach out to 3 new people. Yeah. And what I mean by reach out is not sending them a private message and say, hey, I have this event, come to it, or here's my free book, download it, because that sounds so pushy. If you don't even have a chance to hear hi back, like people say hi, you say hi back, you say, hey, I wanted to get to know you better. What do you do? What do you struggle? So have that conversation first, instead of sending that copy and paste. This is where all of my links are. You should go like my Facebook page. You should go download my stuff, and you should pay me for my program because I'm the best. Those are I usually just delete those kind of people, because of the first thing out of
and someone just hands you their flyer.
Here, buy this.
I didn't ask you for your card,
Yes, and so many people do that. And on the other hand, I have amazing conversations with people on Facebook when they reach out and say, hey, I just sent you a friend request. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about me. Here's what I do. And now I would love to hear what you do and what are your goals for the next 3 months. It's a conversation. I can answer. They were interested in what I had to say instead of pushing their services. So you definitely want to make sure the conversations you're having are normal human conversations, not like, buy this now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. So we have a question. Mimica said, can you explain the best way to decide on audiences for Facebook ads? How do you find that ideal client?
I can, but that's so one thing that I do teach. We need another 3 hours for that. So what I teach in my program is actually how to reach your ideal client organically, which means how do you do it without spending a penny on Facebook ads? How do you have those conversations? What do you post so you position yourself as an expert so people start chasing you and you never have to pay for ads to actually find them. They come to you because of the way you are on Facebook. But to answer your question, it really depends. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get people into your event? Are you trying to connect with people who already know you? Are you driving the cold audience to one of your opt-ins? It really depends what you mean by ideal client and what your purpose is. So any Facebook ad, first of all, you want to say, what is my final goal? Is my final goal to get a client? Then what are the baby steps I can take them through? And what is one pain point that they have? And once you identify that, you target it by, if you know your avatar, you know if it's a man or a woman, you know their ages, you know what their interests are, you know other people they follow on Facebook, and then you target that to bring them to one solution for one pain point they have. I don't know if that answers your question, but basically the answer is depends. So if you tell me a specific situation, I can tell you what I would do in that scenario. But it's the same as asking, how do you get clients? Well, it depends on what you do, what do you offer, what do you want to sell, who they are. It's the same as finding clients in real life. You need to know a lot more information before you can get a good enough answer for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry, Mimica. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this blab is really about how can you attract clients through Facebook without spending any money on ads. So we know that a lot about how to use paid ads, but this is really for those of you that want to use those organic strategies. And then when you have clients that are finding you and you're making more money, then that's a good time to invest in paid Facebook ads. But that can come down the road if you choose. You don't have to spend money. The other thing that I wanted to say that's been really amazing is I used to attract most of my clients offline through speaking, and I live in the Seattle area. So that was part of my strategy. I knew I needed to speak and go to a certain number of events every month to attract the number of clients I want to attract. And so what I found is when I started being more visible on Facebook, the combination of people meeting me offline and then seeing me online was extremely powerful. And sometimes when I meet people now, they're like, oh my God, I see you online. And it's like a little bit of a celebrity factor, which it's kind of funny to me because it's not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to connect and grow and, create relationships. But it's interesting that it's a very magical thing where they are really impressed, I find, that you have a great online presence. And so when they see you in person and they see you online, they just go, wow, and they start following you online and watching your videos or reading your posts, or they get in your group. And it's very powerful, that combination of them knowing you online and offline. Now, it's not possible for everyone to know you both online and offline, but if you do networking in your local area, I feel like it just takes it up 10 notches if they also start to see you online. It's just a really powerful combination.
Yeah, I find the same thing. And it goes both ways, because sometimes I meet people at an event or somewhere I'm speaking and they got one impression of me, or they got to see me on stage, or we just met in the hallway, said hi, exchange the business cards, and that's about it. And then they start following me online, and all of a sudden there's like, oh wow, you do this and you share this and you know this, so that just expands on it. Plus they have that teeny little, like, I've met her in person, I know who she is.
Yeah.
And it goes the other way, where they meet you online and then they meet you in person, and it's like 1-on-1 equals 3, because there's something really explosive about meeting for a short period of time face to face versus having experience over weeks or months, where you consistently give them value and helping them and supporting them and building those relationships. If you can combine it, and I also noticed that the event that you go to doesn't have to be local. Like doing a blab could do exactly the same thing. I have some clients who are like in UK or Australia, or like places that I would never, well, I'm not planning to go in the next couple of weeks, but we do either a blab chat, or we do a webinar, or we do some kind of a thing where people can see you moving, where people can see. That's why videos are so hot too. It's kind of like meeting the other person in person, but if you do like a Zoom call, and on the group Zoom call, it's kind of like you're sitting in the same room. So it can, so even if you can't do local networking events, do a free Zoom call and invite people from your group to join, and you'll feel like you know each other. Like you feel like you've met in person.
Absolutely. That's another good thing you bring up is, like, about 2 years ago, most of my clients were local, and now the majority of my clients are from different countries and different states. And that's something that I wanted to happen. And for those of you that want to travel and want it to be a business write-off, like maybe you want to go to different places and meet clients or host intensives or workshops or things like that in other countries, being visible on Facebook, like using the strategies that Alina teaches, will help you get there, because this was not something that was true for me just a couple years ago. And a lot of times people say, well, how did you do that? I'm like, Facebook. I started following, I did what my coach told me to do. Right?
Yeah, Jessica's a really good student.
and I always say, like, I've only scratched the surface. I feel like I grabbed onto things, certain things, and I did them over and over. And then I just keep adding, things that I learn. And the key is to do them over and over. And so,
you do it consistently.
So whatever pieces you grab onto, you have to do them over and over. And the other thing I want to say, which is why I think your book is so important, is before I really started learning from you, I was, like I said, I was copying other people, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm not perfect. I mean, I might make a mistake tomorrow. I hope not. But, I made a lot more mistakes then. And so I would like go into Facebook groups and I would be kind of spammy, and I didn't know I was being spammy. I thought I was like really slick, right? Like, oh, I'm going to post. And I'm going to like get it out there. And now when people do that to me or do that in my group, I know what it feels like. And I'm nice to them. I don't get mad at people, because I know that they're still learning and they just don't know yet. Just like I didn't know the proper way. So I was making a lot of mistakes and doing things. I actually got some negative feedback from someone a couple years ago, and I was just like heartbroken, because I didn't want to come across that way. It wasn't my intention, but I just was like, well, I want to grow my business, so I'm going to do these things that I think I'm supposed to do. And I see other people doing these things. And so I really, I felt so bad that maybe it put some people off and they didn't like it. And so now I feel like I don't have that problem, because I know how to do it in a way that's going to, create engagement instead of like put people off, and not everyone's going to like you, but I get majority positive feedback. Whereas before, number one, I just didn't get any feedback. And the other feedback I got was kind of like, oh, you're being too aggressive, or it's like spammy. And I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know that. I'm glad.
Well, it's kind of the same way how the in-person networking works, right? There's certain people, you walk into the room and you're like, I'm going to stay away from that guy because I know he's just going to push stuff on me. Because some people just approach you and say, hey, what do you do? Here, buy this. And you just go, and they don't know any better. They just think that's the way to promote their business. So it's exactly the same thing that happens online. It's just a lot more people don't know what the rules are or what the etiquette is or what's appropriate or how they're coming across, because it's such a much bigger world and there's so many more people. You can't give feedback to everybody. But once you know how to behave, you become like immediately you stand out because you get everybody interested in what you do without ever having to sell. A lot of my posts nowadays, like, hey, I got something cool going on, who wants in? That is the sales post. And then people will contact me and buy whatever I have in mind because I've established myself. I don't have to go and do a big sales letter.
What I was going to say also is like, if you follow the strategies that you teach, over time, you can get to the point where you can every so often make a post that's very direct, that is a sales-oriented post, and you can get away with it because you're known for sharing such good value. So when you do offer something for sale, people grab onto it. In January, I was offering intensives. I had a goal. I wanted to sell 3 intensives. I did a special price. I think I ended up selling like four or five. I ended up, saying, okay, I'll do more because people are interested. But most of them enrolled because they saw my Facebook post. They did get my emails as well, but some of them saw my Facebook post, and it was like creating kind of like a little frenzy, like, oh, it was a limited time offer. I put together the offer in a way that was going to have people take action quickly. And I ended up selling like 4 of them right away. And that really came from the Facebook group. But if I had started a Facebook group and then just posted something like that without people having known me for a while, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. So
yeah, people would be leaving your group. They would be like, oh, all she does is sells.
Yeah. And people you have to know how to share good stuff. Like, one thing that I really love about your story is that you are very good at telling a story. So there's like, when people follow a whole storyline, and as they're seeing your posts, they're getting to know you, they're getting to know like the process, like, your story of how you grew your first business, the photography and branding. So you did that through telling a story, and people would see that and feel like, oh my gosh, I want to work with her, because they felt like they were part of it somehow.
Yeah. So we have a question from Mimika again. Because there's so much more we can talk about. It's really cool.
I know. I'm like, wow, we've almost gone an hour.
Yeah. So Mimika's question is, do you advise posting your free content on your business page or your personal page or group? It seems that the reach of business page is so low lately. Yes. It's yes to everything. So let me take it. There's like about 6 questions in there. So I always advise to post anything business related on your business page. And yes, the reach is low. However, here are the benefits of posting it on your business page. Number 1, if anybody lands on your business page, it looks current, it looks up to date, it looks like you're sharing valuable information. Number 2, your business page is what Google searches. So your posts are a lot more likely to get indexed and to show up in the search results if you post them on a business page. They would never be searchable on your personal profile, and depending on the type of the group, they're not searchable as well. So if you want to have online presence, definitely post it on the business page. Also, business page is the only place where you can boost stuff. So if you ever have a post go viral, or if you want to have a lot of shares and you want to see where it's all going, you want to be on your business page, because that's the only place you can do any kind of boosting or advertising. Another thing is you get amazing insights. So if you originate your post on your business page, you get to see who is clicking on them, which posts they like, which ones they don't, which ones are shared, which ones are liking, what time people are looking at it, where they're logging in from. Ton of information. You don't get any of that if you're going to your group or if you're going to personal profile. Now, because the reach is low, the strategy here is you post everything on your business page and then you share. So you post, you make an amazing post this morning I posted a post that we're going to be on Blab today at 9 o'clock. So I posted it on my business page, and then I shared to my personal profile because more people will see it there. Then I also shared it in my Facebook group because I want people from my group to know that's what I'm doing. And then if you have to read the rules, of course, but there's certain groups that will allow you to post promotional stuff or any motivational stuff. So read the rules, and then you can share it in a couple more places. Not at exactly the same time, stagger it a little bit, maybe do it half an hour later, 3 hours later the next day. But basically every post that you post on the business page that you want to get more exposure, you share it. And the only exception to it is if you have your own group and you want to create content specifically for your group to encourage people to visit your group and to stay in group and visit there basically every day, then you create content specifically for your group and you post it there. But everything else, anything that I do, tips, strategies, article, blogs, like any value added post, I will always start on my business page. So I hope that helps, Mimika.
Yeah, awesome. She said fabulous tips. Thank you.
Good. And by the way, there are a lot more tips like that in my ebook, and it's brand new and it's only available until the end of this week. So Jessica, here's the link, I think. There we go. So if you want to go grab it, it's 20 pages.
Question too.
Sure.
From Aaron McKay.
Yes. What about Facebook terms of service that says we shouldn't do business on our personal profile? Yes, absolutely. Yes. It is the agreement that we all sign just by creating a Facebook profile. Your personal profile is created for your personal connections with people. Your business page is where you're supposed to do all business. There are a lot of people who are very successful who only use their profile, but I don't want to be one of them because you never know. Facebook might decide tomorrow they're going to close it all. Right now, it's sort of monitored, not very strictly, but they might change their mind tomorrow and close all personal profiles that do business with them. There's other reasons. The personal profile, you have a limit of 5,000 friends. So I just actually reached it yesterday. All of a sudden, I couldn't accept anybody. It was like, So on the fan page, you have unlimited number of things. And basically, you can still share your posts as long as your personal profile is not 100% business. So if you look at my personal profile, well, this week is a little bit different because I'm doing a launch. My program is about to open, so I have the enrollment opening tomorrow, actually. But basically, I share what I eat, I share my travels, I share my time with my girlfriends, I share my business posts, I share the books I read, I share some funny stuff that's not business, but more of a personal stuff. So my personal profile is an extension of me. It shows more like the three-dimensional human that I am. Mm-hmm. My business page is strictly business. So it's like, think about it, what's professional and what's not so professional. Still enough professional that I'm okay with it being on Facebook and I'm okay with anybody seeing it. But I don't mind posting a joke that has to do with, I don't know, wine or chocolate or shoes. That should not belong on my business page because I'm a business coach. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it as anything that I want to get more eyes on, I'll definitely share on my personal profile, but my personal profile is only like a fraction of what I post on the personal profile.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that helps. What about merging your personal and business page if you're a brand? Is that advisable?
I wouldn't. Again, I just said because your personal, the way I recommend treating your personal page is your business page, your fan page is your professional page. You only post business stuff. You post a lot of value. It's sort of the professional. Think of it as a mini website. It's a website that's a lot more dynamic, that changes a lot, but that's your professional face of your business. Your personal profile, it's business casual. It's the stuff that you maybe, like you go to the conference and then after hours, you're still professional, but maybe you're like sitting together, drinking, gossiping.
Great analogy.
It's kind of like the business casual part. So you don't necessarily have to do any drama. You don't have to do any of those weird things. But basically, it's the business and business casual. And I wouldn't mix them together because, again, personal profile, you don't get SEO, you don't get boosting, you don't get insights. There's so many things that are missing from the personal profile because it's not designed for you to look at all the analytics. And business page is where you get to see what your audience likes, what it engages with, and how to monetize what you have. Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
How do we know what they consider business? Anytime you're trying to sell anything, anytime you're making offers, it's business. So it can be like,
you say you're going to be on Blab, is that still?
Right now, there's no backlash as long as your person, like, I even try not to, like, right now, if you look at my personal page, my cover photo is my book. Usually, like 99% of the year, it's a picture of the lake or a picture of flowers or a picture of something. So I try to keep my personal profile very clean and very non-businessy, except for when I'm doing a launch. So for 2 weeks of a launch, yes, I'm promoting something. The other time, it's going to go back to like, oh, look, those are pretty mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Are we going to talk about your webinar at all, or?
We could. if you actually opt in for my ebook,
amazing.
You will get an invitation to my webinar, and I'm doing a live webinar tomorrow. So if you want to hear a lot more of me, like at least an hour and a half of me, plus I'll have it open for Q&A at the end, so we can easily stay for a couple of hours. I can answer more of your top questions. And if you grab the book, so there's a webinar link too.
The webinar link. Erin McKay says she's coming to the webinar. Awesome. What time is that, by the way?
What's that?
What time is the webinar tomorrow?
Webinar is 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Okay, good.
So 5 p.m. is Eastern. So, but if you download my ebook, you'll get an invitation to the webinar, so you can kind of do both at the same time.
Woohoo!
Very nice.
Well, I remember the first time I listened to your webinar, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do whatever she's teaching. I have to do it. And that's when our story.
The magic happened.
And now we've got to meet, I'm in Seattle. You're in Reno.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to meet each other twice now. Once when you came to Seattle, another time at the conference that was in California a couple months ago. So
now it's your turn to come here.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Bonnie.
Awesome.
Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie said, hi, ladies. Hey, Bonnie.
Hi.
So
if you have any other questions.
Left. Is there any questions? We've got 4 minutes left.
We should get somebody in the seat and see if anybody wants to talk to us live.
4 minutes left. So the seat is open. If anyone wants to pop in and ask a question or say hello, Mimica or Tressa or Aaron.
Or anybody. We have some.
We have a
new
lot
people
of
here that I've never met before.
Who else do we have here? We've got Moonflower Studio and Pick and Pow. So some companies, Wendy, and who else do we have? Jacqueline. By the way, follow each other, you guys. If this is your first time on Blab, make some friends. Okay, so Moonflower Studio, we're bringing her on in.
Nice. I like live people.
Okay, so.
Hi.
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 Welcome.
I'm not really used to being on Blab or anything, any kind of video in general. So
it's okay. You look wonderful.
You look good.
I see a lot of coaches around and a lot of, social media geared to coaches. And in a way, I am a coach. I'm a graphic designer and I'm an illustrator. And I coach you to, build a better brand through visual art.
Perfect.
Or go off the track of putting something ugly out there. That's not going to help you. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I got laid off. And so I started my own company, Moonflower Studio. So here I am looking for clients. And I have a few and I've had some good ones, but I just need a steady flow. And I need to be able to handle the work.
So you are a graphic designer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Illustrator.
So my first business was photography business. That's where I kind of explored the power of Facebook, realized what it was all about, and then I created a program around it. So I'll just give you a few quick tips because we do have our time limit. I don't know if Jessica has to run. But basically, grab my book. It has a lot of information on the little things you can do. But here are some tips. As a graphic designer, you are very visual. Facebook is visual. So the whole idea of visual content marketing is the most powerful thing. So regular coaches, if I'm a business coach, I'm like, what can I post that's going to be visual? I have to create my own stuff. Because all of your work is visual, you're sitting on a gold mine. It's incredible. So you can start drawing something, post it and say, what do you think this is going to be? Or do you like this logo or do you like that logo? Or like if you were talking about the brand that's all effervescent, which colors would you use? Like everything that you have so much visual stuff and people love giving their opinion. So if you want people to start following you, and all of them will know that you do graphic design because those are the only questions you ask. All of them will understand how brilliant and talented you are because you keep showing your work. And they also see how, yeah, so all of it.
I do put all of my artwork up there, and I'm doing exactly what you said. I have my separate, personal page, and everything I put up there is just like positive and happy, mostly my dog and hiking.
So how much of your actual work in progress do you post?
I don't. I mean, I put you like the work in progress idea. That's something I haven't done.
Because, like, think about it. Like, when I was a photographer, I've established myself as like the best photographer in town in very short time because everybody else was saying, here's the pretty picture of this person, here's the pretty picture of that person. I was showing, here's they are showing up in my studio, here's they're getting makeup, here's me taking pictures of them, here's the retouch and retouch, here's I'm calling it, here's the 20 shots I need to pick from. And that's what makes people want to understand what the process is. Yes, they understand that they want to be part of it. They want somebody to do it to them. And they feel like if they hire you, they know exactly what they're going to get. So that's the story that's missing. It's it's behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
I also have another, I'm celiac, and so I started, I can't have milk either, so I have, and my husband owns an Italian bakery, believe it or not. Wow. But I have a blog called healthyglutenanddairyfreeliving.com, and I make my own, food and post it, and I just kind of having fun with that, but Bob's Red Mill just looked at it, but not to have me blog for them, but they liked it. So I don't know. I'm trying with that, but I'm not getting a lot of followers yet again. I mean,
so my advice for anybody, I have a lot of clients who come to me like this. I'm a dog walker. I also do massage, and I'm a great cook, and I want to be a business coach. And I don't have any clients. So my very first advice is focus on one. Because if you have two things that are not doing so well, it's basically you have two startups or two things you're trying. It's kind of like trying to date two guys at the same time. It doesn't quite work out. You have to like put all of your intention, all of your efforts into one direction, see if it works. And then if it works, great. You can forget about everybody else. If it doesn't work, well, you have something else to look at. So basically pick one, which one makes you the most happy, which one is like you want. If you had to pick one to do for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Would that be the gluten-free, or would that be?
All day and forget everybody.
Well, no, good. So that means the artistic part is it, right?
I can't get out of my graphic work. I've been doing this for 30 years. I mean, I've designed
just because you've been doing it doesn't mean that you want to do it for the rest of your life.
I think I want to do it in a way that I'm happier at it. Sometimes I think the clients are really hard, and they're very demanding and unrealistic turnarounds. It's very stressful. So I don't really want to do that.
Okay, it sounds like you might need a coach. There's some people in this room. Basically, I used to be an instructional designer. I used to be a lecturer at the university. I spent 16 years of my life teaching at the university, and I was really good at it. I was getting international awards. People were like, "You're the best," and I'm like, "Yeah, there's just something not there." Then I started my own business. I started photography business. I got it to like $100,000 business within like the first 2 years. And with photography, it's not that easy. And then I'm like, yeah, still not there. Now what I'm doing, I'm a business and technology strategist. I love it. And everything is easy and everything is effortless. So it doesn't mean that just because you've been doing something for 30 years doesn't mean that's what you were meant to be. Even if you're good at it, even if people still want to hire you for that. It's not necessarily if your heart is not there.
I work on that. I don't want to give up everything because I know all these programs inside out, or the whole Adobe Creative Suite, everything. I'm really good at it. So I'm thinking Illustrator, but I got to find those clients because I'm a really good illustrator. And so I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go towards textile design more because I think I could just draw all day and push it out there and buy stuff. Yeah, I don't know. And I love the reason I love my blog, my food blog, is that's sort of more like a passion. Like, I just cook when I'm home, and if something comes out good, I post it up there. That's not really to make money, although it'd be nice to off the blog, but that's not where I'm really focused on. I'm more focused on my graphics, but I just want to get that ideal client, and I want to be happy. So obviously.
Jessica, do you want, yes, my recommendation for you would be pick one that you want to focus on for the next 30 days. Just whichever one it is. If you want to focus on your blog, focus 100% on your blog. If you want to focus on your illustrated work, focus on that. And decide for yourself what your ideal client would be like, and then talk to them. Like, forget about everybody else, but just say, if you are interested in whatever it is you're trying to do. So every post on Facebook, every graphics, you can say, if you are in the brand new business and you're looking at the logo, I know what you're going through right now is, how can I do it? How can I do it fast? Will I like it? What if I want to change it? So just try to think of, like, get in their head and then make posts. Like, so if this is your first logo, here's the 3 questions you need to answer before you approach the designer. Or here's the article on 3 questions you have to ask a graphic designer before you hire them. Or here, like, what the colors represent. So all of the, if that's the beginners. If you want to work with somebody who has a gigantic business and they just need to keep creating more illustrations for their products, for their programs, for their banners, all of that stuff, it's a completely different conversation. With them, you talk about, how would you like to have, like, everything done for you? All you have to do is give me your ideas and I'll give you, like, the perfect suite of everything you will need for your launch. Completely different conversation.
That's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
So, but talk to one very small group at a time, and for 30 days, only post with them in mind. And if you do that, you're going to get clients that's specifically you addressed in your post.
That's the thing. I want them coming to me and not, I feel like
it takes a little bit of time. Facebook is a slow marketing. But if you post, like, here's nutrition, here's the blogs, here's the logos, here's the stuff, people don't know who you are and what you do.
They're all separate.
I know.
My one is separate from my Moonflower, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Jessica, do you have something to add to that? Or wrap it up?
No, sorry, but I have something I got to get to.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
No, it was a wonderful question.
Thank you for coming on here.
Well, we'll be back at your next one for sure.
Okay, well, come on tomorrow. I have a blab on things that you need to be tracking in your business. So it's going to be very informative. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, we'll try to be there. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you for
coming,
Dina. Thank you so much for being here today. I think we're going to have to do this again because we have so many great questions. So
yes, maybe we should just do just a Q&A. Let's just do a Q&A and people can ask us any questions. Would anybody like that? Like, give us some
we want to do a Q&A. Oh, do it weekly. Yeah.
Do it weekly. We can think about something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, talk show. Yeah.
Okay. Talk show.
Love it.
Wonderful.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we will definitely do a Q&A. We'll get something together and we'll be back. So hopefully we'll see you on her webinar tomorrow and read her ebook. If you do what it says in there, you'll definitely see results in the next couple of weeks, and you'll see more engagement on your posts, and you'll see how clients start reaching out to you. So they're loving the idea of Q&A. So we'll definitely.
Yes. Okay. We'll try to do something for sure. All right. Wonderful.
Thank you, Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me there. Bye.
Bye.